In the bustling heart of Salem, where Sikhs lurk around a Quran and her hearts of stubborn drama that left fans on the edge of their seats. In the bustling heart of Salem, where Sikhs lurk around a Quran and her hearts of stubborn drama that left fans on the edge of their seats. For Kayla, Stephanie isn't just any victim, she's her precious daughter, a light of her currently, her only child still residing in Salem. The fear is palpable, gnawing at Kayla's very soul as every agonizing minute stretches into what feels like an eternity.
Picture this, Kayla, the steadfast doctor who's faced countless crises in their and in her personal life, now reduced to a bundle of nerves in her living room or maybe pacing the sterile halls of University Hospital, where she's saved so many lives but can't seem to save her own heart right now. Her hands tremble as she clutches an old photo of Stephanie from happier times, perhaps that family vacation where Steve's little girl laughed without a care, or the proud graduation day when Stephanie stepped into her career as a sharp, no-nonsense publicist. "My baby," Kayla whispers to herself repeatedly, her voice cracking under the strain. The worry is all-consuming. Every shadow outside the window makes her jump. Every ring of the phone sends her heart racing with a mix of desperate hope and bone-chilling dread. How many times has Salem seen its residents snatched away by vengeful foes? Too many to count. Think back to all those DiMera schemes, the Orpheus nightmares, the endless cycles of abduction and rescue that have defined this town for decades. But this time it's personal in the deepest way. Stephanie is Kayla's anchor, the one constant when the rest of the family has been pulled in every direction by tragedy, distance, or their own complicated lives. With so many Johnsons and Bradys scattered or lost to the past, Kayla feels the isolation like a physical weight pressing down on her chest. She replays every recent conversation with her daughter in her mind, searching for clues she might have missed, wondering if she could have protected her better. The guilt mixes with the terror, creating a storm inside the woman who has always been the rock for everyone else. And yet, in true Salem fashion, Kayla doesn't have to weather this hurricane completely alone. Fortunately, she's not facing this nightmare in solitude. Roman, Brady and Abe Carver arrived at just the right moment, stepping into her home or the pub with the kind of quiet strength that only longtime friends and fellow parents can offer. Roman, they have a reliable Brady patriarch who has buried more pain than most and still stands tall behind that famous pub counter, knows exactly what this kind of parental terror feels like. He's lost children to the darkness of Salem's underbelly before kidnappings, betrayals, the whole heartbreaking playbook. Abe Carver, the honorable former mayor and police commissioner whose own journey through fatherhood has been marked by loss and hard-won redemption with Theo, understands it on an even deeper level. They understand how this fear affects parents because they've lived it. They've sat in hospital waiting rooms, made frantic calls in the dead of night, and bargained with the universe for their kid's safe return. Today, they were there for Kayla, reassuring her even without a real answer, their voices steady as they reminded her that the people of Salem don't give up on their own. We watched as Roman placed a gentle hand on Kayla's shoulder, his gravelly voice cutting through the silence. "Kayla, we've been through hell and back in this town. Stephanie's tough just like her mother. We'll bring her home." Abe chimed in with that calm, measured wisdom of his, sharing a story from his own past struggles to keep the light alive in Theo's eyes during their darkest days. "Fear wants to paralyze you, Kayla, but you're stronger than that. We're here." The whole town is rallying. Their words weren't empty platitudes. They carried the weight of shared history, Brady Carver alliances that have survived everything from mob wars to serial killers. Kayla leaned into their support, tears finally spilling over as the three of them sat together, forming a circle of quiet resolve amid the chaos. It was a beautiful, heartbreaking reminder of what makes days of our lives so special, the way family cousin or blood shows up when it matters most. No grand speeches, no miracles yet, just two good men refusing to let their friend drown in despair. But even as they comforted her, the unspoken question hung in the air: how long can they keep the hope alive before the fear wins? Meanwhile, across town, Steve Johnson was also incredibly worried. His little daughter was out there somewhere in the clutches of danger, and he couldn't bear it for one more second. Steve Patch Johnson, the legendary one-eyed operative turned private eye, the man who has survived explosions, brainwashing, and more double crosses than anyone should, was unraveling in his own stoic way. All he wanted was for his daughter to come home safely. That's all. Nothing else mattered, not his cases, not the latest DiMera intrigue, not even his own safety. We saw the raw vulnerability in his eyes as he stared at a framed picture of young Stephanie on his desk. The one where she's grinning up at him with that same mischievous spark she inherited from both parents. "Come on, baby girl," he muttered under his breath, his voice thick with emotion. "Daddy's coming for you." The super spy who once infiltrated cartels and toppled empires now felt utterly helpless, and that helplessness fueled a fire in him that Salem hasn't seen in years. That's where Jada Hunter came in, the sharp, no-nonsense detective who's become Steve's relentless partner in this desperate hunt. Steve and Jada relentlessly examined every clue, every lead, every possibility. They wouldn't let anything get out of control. We cut to the dimly lit detective's office, or maybe a makeshift command center at the Johnson house, papers strewn everywhere, phone records, security footage stills, witness statements scribbled on napkins. Jada's laser focus complemented Steve's gut instinct perfectly. She cross-referenced timelines while he paced, his trademark eye patch catching the light as he barked out theories. "This guy didn't just vanish into thin air," Steve growled, slamming a fist on the table. "There's always a trail. We just have to find it." Before he couldn't finish the sentence, Jada, ever the professional but clearly moved by her friend's pain, pulled up another lead on her laptop. A blurry CCTV image, a suspicious vehicle sighting near the riverfront. "We're not stopping until she's back in your arms, Steve," she promised, her voice steady even as the clock ticked mercilessly. Their partnership crackled with urgent phone calls to informants, frantic drives across Salem's back alleys, even a tense confrontation with a reluctant witness who might have seen something. Every dead end hit Steve like a punch to the gut, but he pushed forward, whispering prayers to the universe that his little girl was fighting as hard as he was. As longtime viewers know, Steve has always been the protector, the one who would walk through fire for his family. Today's episode reminded us why we love him, that unbreakable fatherly love mixed with the street-smart cunning that has saved the day more times than we can count. While everyone in Salem was searching for her, Stephanie wasn't sitting still. She was thinking, planning, observing. Trapped in what looked like a nondescript warehouse or a remote safe house on the outskirts of town, those shadowy locations the show loves to use for high-stakes captivity, Stephanie Johnson refused to play the damsel in distress. She's always been resourceful, the girl who turned public relations savvy into a weapon and survived her own share of Salem scandals. Now, facing real peril, her mind was a whirlwind of strategy. She knew exactly how dangerous Owen Kent was. Realizing he was acting alone made things even worse. No one else was pulling the strings. No backup plan. That made him unpredictable, a loose cannon with nothing to lose and everything to prove. We saw her in those tense close-ups, her eyes darting around the room as Owen paced nearby, muttering to himself or making erratic demands. Stephanie cataloged every detail, the creaky floorboard 3 steps from the door, the loose pipe that could double as a weapon if she timed it right. The way Owen's hands shook when he checked his phone for non-existent reinforcements. He's solo, she realized with a chill, her internal monologue racing. That means no cavalry coming to save him if things go south. But it also means he's desperate, and desperate men make mistakes. She started small, testing the waters with careful conversation, asking about his motivations, feigning sympathy to lower his guard. Dropping subtle hints that she understood his pain, whatever twisted backstory the writers have cooked up for him. But underneath the calm exterior, her plan was forming fast. She wanted to leave as quickly as possible, maybe create a distraction with a fake medical emergency, since she's inherited her mother's doctor smarts, or manipulate a moment when Owen stepped away for supplies. The question is whether she can come up with a truly effective plan. Owen isn't one to let his guard down easily. He's volatile, eyes wild with whatever obsession drove him to this. If she makes a mistake, wrong word, one miscalculated move, things could get even more dangerous. We held our breath during those long, silent moments where Stephanie weighed her options, rush the door now and risk a struggle, or wait for the perfect window and risk time running out. Her heart pounded visibly on screen, sweat beading on her forehead as she remembered every self-defense lesson Steve ever taught her and every close call she'd survived before. "I'm not dying here," she vowed silently, fists clenched behind her back. "Not today. Not when Mom and Dad are out there fighting for me." The plot twists revealed in Days of Our Lives show Stephanie planning her escape with the kind of gritty determination that makes her one of the show's most compelling heroines. She's replaying past escapes in her mind, maybe that time she outsmarted a stalker or navigated corporate betrayals, and adapting them to this nightmare. Every creak of the building, every distant siren she strains to hear, becomes part of her mental map. She's calculating angles, timing footsteps, even considering using her own clothing or nearby objects in clever ways to create an opening. But Owen's unpredictability looms like a shadow. One second he's almost reasonable, the next he's ranting about grudges we're only beginning to understand. Can she defeat him before time runs out? The tension was unbearable, the camera lingering on her face as she took a deep breath and prepared to make her move. Fans at home were screaming at their TVs, willing her to succeed, knowing that in Salem, escape plans rarely go smoothly. Will she get out on her own terms, or will a last-second complication force Steve and Jada's rescue to collide with her own daring bid for freedom? The episode left us hanging right in the middle of her boldest idea yet, hearts racing for what comes next. Meanwhile, in a completely different but equally explosive corner of Salem, DiMera has shocked Paulina Price in a way that could ripple through the DiMera and Price families for months. Paulina, the fierce mayor who has clawed her way through scandals, family secrets, and enough courtroom battles to fill a lifetime, is determined to find out exactly what EJ did. She's vowed to uncover the truth at all costs, no matter who it hurts, no matter how deep the betrayal runs. And now, it seems she'll finally get her answer. The confrontation played out in classic soap style, Paulina storming into the DiMera mansion or cornering EJ in a tense office showdown, her voice booming with that signature authority as she demanded answers. You think you can hide behind that smug DiMera smile forever, EJ? Not this time. Spill it. What did you do, EJ? Ever the master manipulator with that velvet voice hiding daggers, looked genuinely rattled for once. The shock on Paulina's face when he started to crack was priceless. His wide hand flying to her chest as the pieces began to click into place. Will EJ finally reveal the identity of the person in the compartment? And that person is Lexi, shocking Paulina. That's what we want to share with you. Lexi Carvery's late mother, the beloved doctor and one-time mayor whose memory still haunts the halls of Salem with love, loss, and unresolved questions. How could she possibly be involved after all these years? Is it a body, a secret message, a ghostly apparition the writers are bringing back for maximum drama? Or something even more twisted, like a long-buried truth about EJ's schemes finally coming to light? Paulina's reaction was pure fire, disbelief turning to outrage, her protective instincts kicking in not just for her own family but for the town she's sworn to serve. Lexi, after everything she went through, you dragged her name into this mess. The episode built the suspense masterfully, cutting away right as EJ opened the compartment or prepared to confess the final detail, leaving Paulina gasping. It's the kind of bombshell that ties back to decades of DiMera history, the family crypts, the secret rooms, the endless cycles of revenge and redemption. Paulina won't rest until she knows everything, and with her connections to Abe and the police force, this revelation could ignite an all-out war between the Prices and the DiMeras once again. As the credits rolled on today's episode, Salem felt more Olivian, more dangerous than ever. Kayla's tears, Steve's determination, Stephanie's courage, and Paulina's fury all weave together into the rich tapestry that keeps us coming back day after day. These characters aren't just names on the screen, they're family to us longtime fans, their joys and heartbreaks mirroring our own. Will Stephanie make it home in time for a tearful reunion that heals old wounds? Will EJ's confession about Lexi tear apart everything Paulina holds dear? And how will Roman and Abe's quiet support turn into full-blown action as the search intensifies? Only time and the brilliant writers at Days of Our Lives will tell. But one thing is certain, in a town where love conquers all and danger is never far behind, today's events have set the stage for weeks of must-watch television. The emotional layers ran so deep today. Kayla's worry wasn't just about the immediate danger. It echoed every past loss she's endured, struggles with infertility, the surrogate journeys, the times Steve disappeared on missions only to return changed. Stephanie represents hope and continuity for her, the next generation carrying the Brady Johnson legacy forward. Roman and Abe's presence wasn't a throwaway scene, it was a masterclass in male friendship and shared vulnerability, reminding us why these veteran actors still own every frame they're in. Steve's scenes with Jada crackled with that classic buddy cop energy but infused with paternal desperation, his voice breaking just enough to show the man behind the patch. And Stephanie. She's no passive victim. Her planning sequences were edge-of-your-seat brilliance, each small observation building to a potential game-changer that could see her turn the tables on Owen Kent in spectacular fashion. Owen himself felt like a worthy new threat, unhinged but calculated, his solo act making every interaction with Stephanie a high-wire act of psychological warfare. Then there's the DiMera side of things. EJ shocking Paulina isn't just another villainous twist, it's a callback to the golden era of Lexi Carver, whose grace and strength contrasted so sharply with the DiMera darkness. Revealing her in that compartment-water form, it takes cold to unearth everything from hidden wills to long-lost siblings, or even a medical miracle the show has been teasing. Paulina's vow to uncover the truth at all costs feels like a rallying cry for every underdog in Salem. She's fought racism, corruption, and personal demons to stand where she is today, and she won't let EJ's secrets derail her now. The way the episode intercut these stories, Scala's quiet anguish with Stephanie's defiant planning, Steve's investigation with Paulina's explosive confrontation, crit perfect soap opera pacing. No scene wasted, every moment dripping with stakes. Fans, if you're like me and have watched through the highs and lows of Salem for decades, you know this is the kind of episode that sticks with you. It reminds us why we tune in, for the family bonds that refuse to break, the heroines who fight back, the villains whose secrets always come home to roost, and the quiet heroes like Roman and Abe who hold everyone together. Stephanie's escape attempt had me literally leaning forward in my chair, whispering encouragement at the screen. Kayla's breakdown had me reaching for tissues right alongside her. And that final beat with EJ and Paulina. Pure cliffhanger gold that will have message boards exploding tomorrow.
So as we head into whatever tomorrow brings, more searches, more revelations, maybe even a daring rescue, let's remember what Days of Our Lives does best. It makes us care, deeply and unapologetically. These aren't just stories, they're emotional journeys we take together. Stephanie will come home. Truce will explode, and Salem will keep turning, one dramatic day at a time. Stay tuned, friends. The best is yet to come.